Hello, dear colleagues. Hello, and Christian and all our colleagues. Thank you so much for beautiful presentation. I just want to highlight that Emergaphone has been going for 5 hours already, and we have 6.5 hours more, right? So we watched 10 beautiful presentations, and we have 13 presentations more. So I hope you're excited, as all of us, right? And let's move forward. Let's continue. And let me introduce Tim Olsson, who is going to drive us from the learning programs, courses, right, to the technologies and to the beautiful platform and technology solutions, which we all, of course, going to use, because that's the way how we can work with information, with the big data, and that's how we can analyze our work together, right? And many, many, many more benefits. So, Tim, please share with us how it looks like now and what we can get from that.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Lexi, and good to see everyone. I also invited Patrick, who is the developer of the platform that I'm going to be speaking about, just in case there were any technical problems, and he can probably give you some input. So I think that the protocol is to share the PowerPoint, yes, and then work through that.
Yes,
And that is
please.
what I shall do. First, we're going to share screen. And we're going to pick this, and then we're going to hit the play button, right? Oops, hang on. There we go. Play. All right. So, oh, did I start with Q&A? Did I start at the end? Let me start at the beginning. There we go. Better. Give me wasting time. There we go. Okay, there we are. Start. My name is Tim. I think I'm supposed to say a few words about myself, very briefly. I need to just move my, okay, I can't find my cursor. There we go. I thought to say something about yourself. There's a saying I came up with many years ago. Cynics are merely romantics who couldn't handle the pressure. And what I mean with that is that, we're all born romantic and then life beats us down and then we become cynical. So those of us who can remain romantic and optimistic, we can handle the pressure. And I think that's probably unites all of us on this call because we all believe in something greater than we're at. I don't really think it's that interesting to spend so much time about me talking about myself. Maybe, but what I like to talk about is this sense that we're on the cusp of transforming from one state of large-scale human organization, the nation state, into something new, which I think is more akin to a mycelium network based on individuals that work through communities, through which we can have bottom-up democracy, bottom-up resource sharing, doing things very, very differently from what we do today, which is top-down with very long feedback loops that are usually quite broken and there's so much corruption in that system because there's so many ways that middlemen can just take something and go in a completely different direction. So it's very inefficient. Nature does not work like that. So that could be a bit of inspiration behind circles, which I kind of see as an early prototype of what a social networking tool might look like in the future. So we're not trying to build the solution that's going to last us 50 years or 30 years or maybe even 10 years, but something that we can use for the next 4 or 5 years, that we can emerge on, we can prototype, we can just make it better and better. And as the technology matures, something superior will emerge out of that. So it's something intermittent in that sense. I also like building tree houses. So I'm a little bit late to this call. I was on a little building mission. So the core idea is it's called Circles. It's a social networking toolkit for change makers. What we wanted to really do is provide change makers across the globe with the resources they need to effectively create the change they want. It's not up to us to decide what that change is, both locally and globally. We want to help volunteers find projects and projects find volunteers. We want to help local projects find funding and the resources they need in the sense that sometimes you don't have to pay for a web designer, but somebody might actually volunteer that. Or sometimes you don't have to pay for 500 bricks or 500 kilos of bricks because somebody actually has that they're not using. So the idea is to try to utilize as many resources as possibly locally in the community before stepping into the final phase of asking for funding. So the more we can do without funding, the better. And the purpose of this is to strengthen communities. And I think also to offer a way for individuals to learn more about themselves through being active in a community. And I'd say one of the major downfalls or problems with this social media we have today, it's very focused on the ego and the individual. So, and it creates a very fragile personas. So if we could rather find a different kind of game to play on the social platforms, which this ultimately is, we can probably find a different way to empower personalities. Create a different baseline for what is status, what is value in a community, etc., etc. So that's a little bit about the philosophy. So the format is an open source digital platform. I should say open source and non-profit digital platform, but obviously we need to fund what we're doing in a reasonable way. But I'll get into that possibly a little bit later, the funding model. Our target audience, oops, let me just see if I can, oh, sorry, can I step back? No? Oh dear, sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna have to stop share and redo this because my cursor disappeared and I couldn't see what I was doing, and I'm going to share again. Oh, am I sharing? I am sharing. Okay, let's just open this up, move the toolbar out of the way. Okay, there we go. And let's see if I can move that so I can actually read. Okay. All right. So our target audience is primary, I would say, activists that need a space to plan and execute projects. So in the sense that we're really trying to build a tool that can be used for project managing and resourcing. So it's not just a place to show what you've got, but a place to meet and get things done together. Another target audience would be volunteers looking for meaningful projects to contribute to in various ways, be they local, be they international or far away. It really depends on what your offer is and what you want to bring to the table. And then the final audience, which is probably more LCE, is networks looking for a tool to manage communication and governance. How do we speak to each other within Living Cities Earth? How do we handle decision making? How do we find each other's projects? How do we match make with each other, etc., etc. And moving on to that, ideas and outcomes. This I'm just trying to. Man. Sorry. My problem is that my cursor completely disappears as soon as I get into display mode, so I can't actually move things around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's jump back or read what I'm actually trying to say. Okay, there we go. And let's click play again. Okay, there we go. So ideal outcomes and measurement tools. Our goal is to have 10,000 financially contributing users on the platform by the end of this year. It's a very ambitious goal, but we might as well be ambitious. And that every project that is involved on every project that gets initiated or is run through the project logs its accomplishments, so you can kind of see the collective results of the platforms that have been, or the projects that have been supported by the platform. So we can see what has been happening. And how can the Living Cities Earth support our product? Well, in many ways, LCE is an ideal partner to help co-create the platform and the various tools and services we want to develop. An immediate way to do this is to create simple profile pages of themselves and of their projects, and offer us feedback on how we might design the platform to be as hands-on, as useful as possible. So this is we're in very early stages, even if we have a functioning platform. We are going to be redesigning a lot of the UX over the next couple of weeks and months, and there's going to be a lot of other activity, hopefully. But the earlier you are part of it, the more you get to influence like the basics. And I think that might be the most exciting offer about the platform, is that anyone who joins is actually helping to evolve it. You're not just getting a fixed set of rules or a fixed set of functions. So what I like to look at today is the math-based interface, a little bit on profile pages to show you messaging and chats, a little bit about video conferencing, a bit about semantic searches, matchmaking using AI, and I just want to check how I am doing for time. Yeah, cool. It looks like a good. I'd also like to talk about some of the tools that we hope to deploy in the near future, such as the task manager, that it was going to allow users to create and claim tasks. And once you can add these tasks to your calendars, and once these tasks are performed, they can go on your profile as something that you have accomplished, which could be quite useful if you do a lot of community work and you never really get the recognition for that. So all of a sudden, that can now show up on your profile and follow with you when you go from one community to another community. We're also working on creating posts for proposals and polls and other content that users can democratically interact with, such as delegating voting rights. If you feel someone else in one of the circles is more competent than you in the question, you can simply hand over your vote to them and have them vote for you, and liquid democracy system. We also want to work on a certificate system that allows circle creators to grant different types of admission to different types of users or participants. So you can say, well, this type of member can come in and read the content. This type of member can come in, read content and comments. And this type of member maybe can come in, read content, comment, and vote. Yeah. So it depends on like who do you want to give access to what areas, and that it really should be in the hands of whoever creates the circle. And the circle, I think, could be easily translated to like a group activity. We also want to create an offer and needs exchange that will allow users that have like specific offers that they come to the platform with to automatically match with projects that correspond to these offers through the needs of the particular project. All right, and I can click escape, and I'm going to just stop share and just say, am I making sense? Give me a thumbs up if that was reasonable. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Okay, we've got about 15 minutes left, which should be ample. I am going to share screen again. Oh, let me first just open the screen I wanted to share. There we go. So here we go, share screen. So this is the current state of the platform, and just bear with this. We are redesigning the interface, so it'll be even more flowy. But basically, we have a discovery view where you have the planet. So if this was Living Cities Earth, you'd see all the members that are part of Living Cities, or you could search. You could see all the cities that are part of it. You could see all the projects. You could filter and look at specific projects. So this is the general idea of like really working on with the planet as our base. Let me see if I can move this bar so I can actually access what I'm doing. There we go. All right. We have a number of again, we will be changing this interface, but what you have here in the corner is like the profile page of the particular circle you're in. So currently we're in the circle, which is like the main circle that everything else exists within on circles, where you can sort of read about what circles is and what you can do here. We also have a chat function that is a little bit slow because of bandwidth, where you can have a rolling chat in any circle. We also have, which is a calendar, obviously. If you have events, you can have these all in the calendar. And what is really quite useful is a video feed. We're on video now, so I can't really show you this. But the idea is You can create a video conference if you have a group on Circles. It's based on Jitsi, so it's open source. It has pretty much all the functionality that Zoom has, and then some. But the nice thing is that if you're in a circle, you can actually see everyone who's on the call with you, wherever they are on the planet. And there's some things we want to build into this so that whenever somebody's speaking, we won't have radio waves coming out of their head. You want to be able to, and another practical thing is you can then like have a continuous chat. So if you have a meeting every week, you meet in a circle, the chat will always be saved to one side. So you can go back and revert to, okay, what did we discuss last week? And as we build a task manager, if anyone claims a task during a meeting, that task can go into the chat or it can go into the calendar. So you can always keep track on, okay, what was I supposed to do for what did we say last week? What was I supposed to do before the next meeting that's coming up? And then, of course, we have I'll just show what a profile. I'm going to click on Patrick because Patrick is with us. And what happens is Patrick is currently in Cape Town with me. Normally he's in Sweden. And what you're seeing here is a little AI prompt that basically looks at my profile and Patrick's profile and then puts together what we might have in common or why we should connect. So in this case, Patrick is relevant to you, Tim, because he shares your enthusiasm for democracy and community and is also interested in systems change and creativity, all of which aligns with your goals, etc., etc. So the idea is that if you click on anything on the platform and the AI will help you to see like what you have in common should you reach out to this person or whatever. If I click to open, I can now see my connection to Patrick. I'm going to click on this neat thing. I'll zoom in to where Patrick is. You can see he's in Cape Town, pretty close to me. Which is kind of neat. You can imagine what this would look like once we've fixed the UI a little better. Now I've clicked at Patrick, and you can see his connections, which is also kind of cool. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit clunky, so you can see what Patrick connected to on the platform currently, and these are all the people on the platform that Patrick is connected to. I could also search for all the projects that Patrick is connected to, or anything else that he's connected to if he wishes to share that. So there are a few cool functions, and in the beginning I thought these lines were kind of annoying because they felt silly, but then when they disappeared for a while, I really felt that we were lacking something because they gave you like this mycelium connection. And the idea is over time, if you've been part of a project, you should be able to see what did that project connect, like little mycelium webs reaching out. So those are, let me see, how am I for time? Yeah, we're doing pretty good time-wise. So that's an interesting fun function. Let me go back. I seem to have jumped to somebody else. I got Gavin. So if, for instance, okay, let me zoom out and jump back to you, Patrick. So if I want to chat to Patrick, I can, we can have a public chat that everyone can reach. So this will be like Patrick's wall. If I write something here, everyone can read that. But if I rather click send private message, we now open a private conversation, and you can sort of see here Patrick's profile page and my backgrounds are just merged with each other. We also have some. I can actually look at this. We have a semantic search. I see, which is using AI to make searches. So like, show me projects. Show me permaculture projects in cities. And I click on that, then I get a whole bunch of suggestions. Obviously, we don't have that many users on the platform at the moment, but this will show you in our connection to all the users that have some connection to permaculture projects. The more advanced it becomes, the more permaculture projects we have on the platform. Obviously, the more hits you'll get. This is a discovery mode that we use where you can sort of see, okay, I want to see everything connected to permaculture, or I just want to see users, or I just want to see events. etc., etc. So the idea is that you can also sort of find local events to engage with. Okay, I'm gonna yes, I'm gonna actually minimize this, or actually stop sharing this, and just to give you an idea of where we are headed design-wise. I'm just going to show you some mock-ups for. Oh, hang on, let me redo that. A few mock-ups of what we imagine profile pages might look like in the future. Okay, there we go, and back to Zoom and share screen. And so we obviously are going to be moving around the UX quite a bit, but the idea is, what might a Living Cities Earth member be presented like on the platform? So you can imagine this is Living Cities Earth, and then and this member Tim is here. If you look at my profile, you'll have a. Can I zoom in? Yeah. Oh, let me go back. Where was I? So a profile will pop up. It'll identify me. So I'm a user. I might have a few hashtags that show you what you and I have in common, or what are my main hashtags. My social media links. There'll be like a background, a profile picture that you can probably click and have several different background profile pictures. Not super necessary for an individual, but for a project, it could be quite useful to see several perspectives of that project or whatever it is. One idea is that we'd have offers, like what can Tim offer? So Tim can offer carpentry and ideation and copywriting, etc., etc. And then we have like a profile about me, where I use a few more words to describe myself that also the AI can use to match me better, and then have a maybe have like a 30 to 60 second video, so you can sort of very quickly get to know a person. That's like one version we're looking at. Another version would be one where we put like projects in centers in the center, bit focus on your mission, and then maybe a word cloud from the kind of reviews. What do people say about Tim? This word cloud is actually based on the reviews of my Airbnb. So Zen's references to Emma the cat. Yes, here's just another version with the word cloud. But the idea is, like, if you click on someone's profile, whether it's a personal profile or a project or whatever it is, it will expand. And this is sort of where you get something that looks a bit more like a traditional social media view, where you now can read like the basic stuff you were before. You can see, for instance, I have like an idea that I have a mission to create a new operating system for human civilization. Pretty crazy. And these are the SDGs that I think are linked to that, because sometimes people want to use SDGs to navigate. Have more information about myself, my interests, my core values, and various statistics I might have about myself that might be relevant for putting together a team. I could also now have a bunch of other, click and find out what are the projects Tim is involved with, what did people say about him when he was involved with those projects, what are the posts that Tim has made, what are the things he's sharing, what are the recommendations he makes, your reviews, like just generally finding a really nice, coherent, and easy way to very quickly get an idea of who this person or who this project is, what this project is about, and to see if I want to engage with them or not. All right. I think that is a very brisk run through what we're working on. And we have 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you
If there
so
are any questions.
much. Thank you so much. I think that's a great solution for especially remote teams who are working around the world and they have different time zones. And what I love about that you have you give people a lot of team members a lot of opportunities to get to know each other. That's what we coach people, right? So how to build connections. So share a lot of information, like hooks, right, about you. Where are you located? Where are you now? Why you choose this country? Or were you born and raised there? Or you just moved there, right? And share your mission and a lot of aspects, and use video and text in different formats to represent yourself in the best way that I can see and get some ideas, right? What we have in common and what we have different, right? So if you don't mind me to ask, because we know that there are a lot of social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, and all other stuff, right? What was your motivation in the beginning, right? That maybe it was some dissatisfaction, or maybe you saw some, I don't know, lacks, right, in functionalities or something in existing social media, right? That you said, okay, we need something else. We need something different, and we're going to build it and we're going to visualize it in this cool way, right? So, what was it, right? And what you can really highlight as extra functions or benefits which really stand out, help your platform, right? Stands out from the like other social media and communication platforms.
Oh, well, I'd say pretty much what you said. The dissatisfaction what was out there. It actually started years ago as trying to build a democracy platform, and then the insight came that democracy is more than voting online. It's a lot more about community, community building. You know, there's a lot of processes in democracy that requires. So we realized, okay, the platform needs to be a more of a social platform. We moved more into the hands-on space of like a Tinder for change makers. How do you match make people want to make change with projects or other change makers? As Patrick stepped in about exactly 2 years ago, and that's when we took another shape, which circles what he was building. So we started working together. And have been working together since, and will continue working in the future. Um, I think that one of the main cells, I would say, apart from it's open source, it's also non-profit. So our idea is that we want to do it donation based, but since we're not aiming to make a profit, that means that any surplus that we make from the platform can go back into the platform. The users get to decide where to point that money. We call it like an altruistic wallet. So you get a dividend by joining.
Mhm.
It's free to join, but we can only have so many free members per paying member. But every time, our basic idea is that maybe it's like €5 a month if you want to be a supporting member. But then you get to invite a friend, so that brings two people on, and down the line, if you can't support financially, if you do a number of hours volunteer work, that counts as much as giving us €5 per month. So we can bring in people in that way, because that obviously is a contribution. And at 10,000 users at €5, yeah, we can definitely turn a small profit that we can put into the system. At 100,000 users at €5 a month, that's a lot of money that can go back into projects, since we're not for profit. But rather than us deciding or creating a whole process of where does this money goes, this goes back into individual users. They simply use those tokens and point them to whatever projects they wish to support. So I think that's maybe one of the most revolutionary ideas. Right. And Marilyn,
And
did you have your hand up? I just wanted to check.
I did. Yeah,
yes,
thank you.
please.
Yeah, Tim, a couple of comments and a question or two. Yeah, wow. Since I saw this and talked to you last summer, this has really moved on. I just want to, compliment you and Patrick. Wow, yes, it looks really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you've changed the name. I'm not sure if you were using Circle's last name. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So, and I was curious because I know that Wendy Elliott is doing mapping. Have you been talking with her? Because you're way ahead of, I think, where the mapping conversation is. And I just wondered if you finally made those connections. And later on, I noticed that we're going to see Peter Anderson and Earth Co-op. I don't know if you had a chance to talk with him or one of his sort of colleagues, Ollie Sylvester Bradley. Do you know Oliver? Yes, I saw his work yesterday through Alternative Planet. So, but I have to say, Tim, I'm getting kind of attracted to what you've done. Yeah, you've really fleshed it out.
Thanks. Yeah, well, Patrick's the mastermind. I can't take, I'm the cheerleader. But thank you. That's great. I think we have a meeting. I've met with Wendy. I think we have some meetings coming up fairly soon, but I've passed my time, so I won't comment more on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful technology, beautiful presentation. And you know why I personally love Emergophone? Because we've been working together with colleagues, right, for several months or years, and we're still getting surprised what projects they're creating and what they're working on, besides our common projects, let's say like that. And I invite us to continue conversation about technologies. And dear Ferial and Andy, please present your project, which calls CRG Journeys Technology. So I have never heard about that. So please share with us.